Lunch, Lady Doris. Have you got any grease?
Yes, we do.
Then grease me up, woman!
Hey folks, this is Grease Scotsman. Welcome to the Revamped Story Mode Collectibles guide for Tower, Time Tower, and Dungeon. This segment will complete the Story Mode guide, with the exception of the bugged Viking Shield. If you've been following this series, then you will only need to gather all of the collectibles in the Redacted chamber and gun range in order to have a fully completed collection. Also, the devs have been in touch and are working on a fix for the Viking Shield. I will be posting an addendum guide as soon as the item is obtainable. By the end of this guide, you will have 17 out of 17 melee weapons, 16 out of 17 ranged weapons, with the P350 residing in the gun range, 12 out of 13 fantasy weapons unless you happen to reclaim the trash can lid and receive the Viking Shield prior to patch 1.4. This guide will award you with 42 out of 63 miscellaneous items. It's impressive to consider that means that there are 21 miscellaneous items tucked away in the Redacted chamber and the gun range. The final physics item is the Pallet Jack, also in the gun range. Finally, all enemy NPCs will have been collected once you've reclaimed the last item in the dungeon level. Tower is by far my favorite level in Boneworks. The enemy frequency, multiple angles of attack, and various routes you can take really showcase Boneworks' strengths in both traversal mechanics and pushing the player into multiple solid combat scenarios. Time Tower, while relatively short, packs in so much to both the story and pushes the sense of scale in a way that only can be appreciated in VR. It can also be a bit challenging if you opt to not cheese the level by pre-aligning the loaded cannons and strive to load, aim, and shoot them while under constant attack. And of course, the end of Time Tower is where we finally traverse the game's namesake, the Boneworks. Dungeon is where the story takes one of its most interesting turns, and if you felt bewildered by the sudden change of scenery, I humbly suggest viewing my 3-part Story and Lore Explained series, which is roughly an hour of laying out in detail how the story and lore run far deeper in Boneworks than most people realized once the credits started to roll. The dungeon map is also dripping with atmosphere, especially the climb to the Reclamation bin. I hope we get a fantasy-themed sandbox at a later date that fully embraces that particular section's strengths. This concludes commentary for the Revamped Story Mode Collectibles guide. Thanks to the Boneworks community for feedback and kind words. I'm honored that the guides and tutorials I produce are of value to you. And as always, dear viewer, thanks for tuning in.
up, son? Remember me when you ascend.